glad Donkey Kong Country returns, the greatest sequel to the ever-popular Donkey Kong Country trilogy in over a decade, and needless to say, Retro Studios did a good job with it. Not only did they manage to achieve the same level of Donkey Kong greatness like Rare did, but they also did a very good job at the difficulty of the levels. This is Greasy Productions, and I'll be listing the top 10 hardest and most frustrating levels that is guaranteed to make you smash your Wii remote to the floor. Now keep in mind that this list is based off my gameplay experience, so if you do not agree with a certain level placement, or your level is not placed here, please be constructive with your comments. So let us dive into the deepest recesses of your frustration. Well, what can I say about the factory levels? They are fun to play and bring back memories and nostalgia of Donkey Kong Country's creme crock industries. Unfortunately, the factory has its fair share of frustrating levels. This is one of them. 7-6 Switcheroo requires you to use your mind a lot in order to progress through the stage. The stage is filled with switches that control barriers, and only a simple touch is enough to trigger them. The challenge gets amped up during the platforming sections because one slip-up will result in you falling into the abyss. I remember playing this level for the first time, and I wanted to complete this level quickly after finding the rocket switch that I happened to die a lot, because I was so damn hasty and didn't really want to put my brain into good use. No matter which game you play, you will always encounter those scary arachnids that no one likes. Spiders. You know exactly where I'm going with this. 5-8 Muncher Marathon has you on edge escaping a huge horde of hungry spiders on your tail. Simple? Not really. Aside from your generic obstacles and enemies, you get these annoying gates you have to roll through and these swamp-like traps that will halt your progress, which can be really irritating if you're trying to click all Kong letters and puzzle pieces because you need a very good lead ahead of them. This level also has a very deceiving nature to it from the beginning to the end. It starts out normally enough until you meet these creeps, and just when you think you escaped them for good, you get this final barrel blasting section with their return. If you haven't hated spiders before, then this level will definitely give you arachnophobia.
Wait, spiders? Why couldn't we follow the butterflies?
The silhouette levels are no doubt a brilliant idea to add to the gaming experience. Why? Well, look at the beautiful visuals. Breathtaking, isn't it? And it's kinda sad to see only 3 of those in the entire game. But enough rambling on the beauty of the levels. This list is about frustration. 8-4 Smokey Peak is the final silhouette level and indeed the hardest. For the entirety of this level, you need Rambi to smash your way through blocks while trying to keep your footing on the unstable platforms. What really makes this level challenging are those lava drops from above, which will kill you instantly if one were to make contact, but that is only the calm before the storm. The final part requires you to dash to an unstable pathway, and believe it or not, I actually died from this part a lot because at the time I didn't know I could continuously dash by shaking the Wii remote. Wonderful, isn't it? Donkey Kong Country was infamous for its minecart levels, but luckily that game only has 2, leaving your frustration to the mercy of platforming levels. However, this game has a plethora of them, and half of World 4 is no exception. The minecart levels are definitely difficult, and unless you practice them enough times to complete them in a single run, you are guaranteed to lose a lot of your life balloons. Say hello to 4-2 Grip and Trip, a minecart level that requires your precision in jumping to hop from minecart to minecart and quick reactions to avoid dead-end collisions. I have to admit that trains with clean grass is a good concept, but that doesn't excuse this level for costing me lives. You start the game and you're enjoying it up to this point without much difficulty. That is, until you reach this stage. 2-7 Tidal Terror doesn't seem much, but for an early stage, it is the beginning of a long chain of frustrations to come in later levels. This level really tests your quick reactions, as getting hit by the waves is self-explanatory. To avoid a fishy fate, you had to take cover behind these rocks, but this becomes progressively difficult later on. Some rocks crumble once hit by the waves, some are tiny that you need to crouch under, and some are temporary pop-ups. Now some of you may be wondering why this level is so high on the list when it really isn't that difficult. Well, I was ignorant when I first played it, so I wanted to speed run through this level. It didn't work out too well. The infamous K levels. They are pretty much the equivalent to the lost levels from Donkey Kong Country 3. Very difficult and require a lot of skill to get through. I included 1K platform panning here for a reason, because I will never forget how excruciating it was to get through this without a checkpoint. Basically, as you progress, platforms will rise from the abyss below to form a path, but the moment you step on them, they start shaking and fall back into the abyss, forcing you to keep on your toes. This becomes trickier with the addition of spiked ceilings and enemies you have to bounce on. Not much to say about this level other than the amount of lives it cost me to get through. It really was a pain in the ass. How could I possibly exclude the rocket barrel levels? Due to the fact that your only method of controlling them is tapping a single button, you need to be precise to avoid oncoming obstacles. 8-2 Hot Rocket puts that precision to the test. It's so difficult because unlike the others, you have very little space to work through, especially when maneuvering around the rocks that suddenly jut out from the lava and ceiling. Maneuvering around these fire snakes can also be tricky because, well, they spin around and confuse you to find an open, safe spot to go through. With so many collisions in my wake, I really don't need to explain how frustrating it was going through this because you guys already know the trend by now. If there's one minecart level that really irritates me the most, it's this one. All I could say about this is crystals. Crystals everywhere. 4-3 bombs away can get very frantic in a matter of seconds with so many crystal hazards and the mole guard that throws bombs on your track in an attempt to derail you. With so many things happening at once, you pretty much get distracted to the point where you fail to notice an incoming obstacle and don't react in time to avoid it. And that is what exactly happened to me. I always had a fondness for crystals, but this stage really made me hate them with a passion. I'm pretty sure most of you know this K level. I mean, who doesn't? 6K Perilous Passage is arguably the most difficult K level and the hardest level in the game by some, and this is the reason why. You are basically climbing a vertical passage while trying to avoid a lava death below, all the while climbing on these platforms that crumble to form a path and dodging fiery enemies that run down the walls. What really makes this level infamous though are those damn blue electric bugs. They start appearing halfway through the stage and will constantly follow you, becoming a real pain in the ass. They can even fly through walls. What's worse about them is during the final part of the stage, where you are only limited to 2 springs, so your jumping needs to be precise or it's fried Kong for dinner. This experience has really set the standards for the stage to be high on this list, but unfortunately it's not number 1.
Say what?
Yep, in my opinion, there is one level that surpasses it. Oh my god! This level has cost me more lives than any of the levels mentioned on this list. 4-5 Crowded Cavern takes the number 1 spot due to its insanity and a very difficult final section. Now you may be thinking why this level is the hardest and not Perilous Passage. Well, to be frank, this level is as generic as any rocket barrel level can get, but as I mentioned before, it's the final section with the giant bat. Most obstacles are static, so it's easy to predict your next move, but the bat's sonic waves are very unpredictable to avoid, especially when trying to collect the final puzzle piece in Kong Letter, because I end up missing them at the worst possible moment or end up getting caught in the crosshairs. Trust me, I'm not lying when I said I lost the most lives on this level. I literally did. Even though Perilous Passage was nerve-wracking because of the bugs, they don't compare to what this bat did. So that's why I give Crowded Cavern the number 1 spot of being the hardest Donkey Kong Country Returns level. Well, that wraps up my list of the top 10 hardest Donkey Kong Country Returns levels. If you have a different opinion, leave a comment or video response. This is Greasy Productions, signing off.